For a long time now, Call of Duty has been taking a lot of flack over how cartoonish and absurd their skins and cosmetics have become. Over the years, their collab event skins and overpriced store bundles have gotten more and more ridiculous. And with Battlefield 6 committing to a more grounded and realistic look for their cosmetics, people are ripping COD like never before. It really feels like it's reached a fever pitch in online discussions, so much so that the devs deemed it necessary to respond to all the criticism. In a blog post a few days ago, Activision confirmed that operators, skins, and weapons will not be carrying over from Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7. According to them, COD needs to feel, quote, authentic to Call of Duty and its setting. They also want you to know that your feedback matters, that in Black Ops 7, bundles and items will be crafted to fit the Black Ops identity. You know, the Black Ops identity. Quote, we hear the feedback. We need to deliver a better balance toward the immersive, core Call of Duty experience. So let's just nip this in the bud right away. If you actually believe that all of a sudden, Activision is gonna just abandon all of these high-profile collabs and bundles, you need to put down the galaxy gas and start thinking about some of the life choices that have gotten you to this point. This is just another example of a blatant lie that Activision expects us to eat up. And there's levels to the disrespect here. Not only is this bullshit, it also doubles as an excuse to extort you for more money. And it's not even a good lie. Look at the pre-order skins. Like, this blog post is so easy to disprove with 5 seconds of critical thinking. How dumb do they think their player base is? Well, maybe they have a point. So there's 3 main ways to tell that they're lying about this. The first is the aforementioned pre-order skins. The game is not even out yet, and we already have the sentient mech robot soldiers and glowing armor, and Reznov is a Jedi hologram. I don't know who they're trying to fool here. You're gonna be seeing people in these skins from day one. From day one, the immersion is going to be compromised just from the pre-order skins by themselves. In years past, the nonsensical cartoon skins would start to trickle in after a few weeks or months, but you at least had the beginning of the game's life cycle to enjoy a slightly more grounded tone. But with the last few games, even that's been taken away. Now it's just a Fortnite wannabe as soon as you boot it up, no time to waste. Which brings us to our second point, the fact that they already gave us this song and dance a year ago. Here's a blog post from June 9th, 2024, clarifying some things surrounding Black Ops 6. They decided against carry forward last year too, stating that they want everyone to start fresh together. Allow everyone to experience the Black Ops universe the way it's meant to be played, and keeping that signature Black Ops style is important. Thanks for looking out for us, Activision. What would we do without you? So obviously that didn't end up sticking, and there's no reason to believe that it will now. And it all comes down to our third reason. Money! Because these collabs and events and ridiculous skins are clearly selling. If Activision really thought that the online criticism was bad enough to affect their bottom line, they wouldn't be selling them anymore. But people buy them. A lot. Microtransaction sales account for more revenue than game sales for Call of Duty. That's been the case for a while now, and you don't need some chart to tell you that. Just log into the game, play a couple matches, and see how many Roger the Aliens or Squid Game contestants you run into. The sad truth is that the fans who yearn for a more realistic vibe for the game aren't as important. We don't matter to them. Their most important customers are the ones that shell out the cash to look like American Dad. They'll make a blog post every year with some half-hearted blurb trying to appease those of us that are left, but at the end of the day, they couldn't care less. And isn't it just so convenient that this yearly commitment to immersion means that everyone loses everything they paid for? They don't lose it per se. Everything purchased in Black Ops 6 is still available in Black Ops 6, but we know how the Call of Duty cycle works. As soon as a new game comes out, support for the previous game is abruptly ended. The game gets no new content, no significant alterations or balancing fixes or game modes, or anything outside of minor patches and playlist updates. Black Ops 6 will be abandoned after a year, like every Call of Duty game before it. This strategy is used by COD to push you to move on to the next game, to extract another $70 out of you for essentially the same product. But that's not enough, because not only do we need another $70, course, you're also starting from scratch in terms of progression and cosmetics. So go ahead and start collecting again. But it's not about the money, no, it's about immersion. You need to experience the Black Ops universe the way it's meant to be played. I honestly didn't even realize how bad this really was until I started writing it all out like this. Call of Duty has been a dishonest and disrespectful product for a decade, but over the past few years, it's just become a full-on scam. Like, this is officially in the same tier as Tinder Gold and college textbooks and DoorDash and timeshares, just a blatant slap in the face to loyal customers, and they keep coming back. I'd love to just bury my head in the sand and be an optimist about this whole situation, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't see this getting any better. In theory, Battlefield 6 could sell really well and Black Ops 7 could lag behind, and maybe Activision has this come to Jesus moment where they've realized they've taken it too far and they tone down the next game in 2026. I just don't really see it. Call of Duty is just too dug in. It's so deeply entrenched into not just the multiplayer shooter scene, but gaming in general, that it doesn't need to change. It has so many millions of committed fans that will buy anything they shit out, and they know that. It's just like Pokemon, so immensely popular that its fans will buy literally anything. I mean, look at the Call of Duty games that have quote-unquote struggled in the last decade. They're still among the best-selling games every year, even in their down years. This is a juggernaut, and even if Battlefield 6 is really good and takes a little bit of market share away from COD, I don't think it would be enough to really spur change, especially considering that Battlefield is also $70 and a lot of players will be choosing just one or the other. Commentaries like the one I'm making now, these Call of Duty discussions we have online about how X thing is a scam and Y thing is bullshit, they aren't even about voicing player feedback anymore, because they don't care about player feedback. We have these discussions to mourn the loss of the franchise that once was, and it's also fun to talk shit about these creatively corrupted clowns running the Call of Duty franchise. I'll say again what I've said before, it's not all on the developers. Some of the stupid gameplay decisions may be on them, but this push to make Call of Duty look like Adult Swim with guns isn't the fault of, Bill the network engineer that just wants to work in the games industry and pay his bills. These types of decisions come from the top, from upper management and the corporate suits that benefit the most from turning this game into an MTX shitfest. I honestly feel for the developers that work on Call of Duty. For one, because they work under Microsoft now, so, but also because they've just been relegated to making this copy-paste bullshit year after year now. It's like what the Act Man recently said about Black Ops 7, that it's just the same recycled ideas and recycled maps and recycled game mechanics every year, tapping into nostalgia and going back to things from a few years ago. There's so rarely true innovation that goes into this formula. And are we really sure that's the fault of the developers? Or is it management wanting to keep everything safe and approachable and familiar and simplistic? You may be tempted to blame the developers, but note that Ubisoft games were often criticized in the same vein as formulaic and redundant. And when one of their employees left the company and had an opportunity to spread his wings, he assembled a team and made Expedition 33, this year's likely game of the year, and a piece of art that I haven't stopped thinking about since I played it. All it takes is truly giving your team a chance to tap into their creativity, but these COD developers are just constantly put to work reimagining the same guns and remastering the same maps and creating the same game every year for 20 years in a row. And how much can it really change? How different could it feel when they're just remaking the same game with slight tweaks 20 times in 20 years? This formula has been maxed out. Anything creative they could do within the bounds of 6v6 multiplayer has been explored at this point. It's bad enough that the gameplay feels dull and repetitive after 2 decades of doing this formula to death, but their corporatized messaging and obvious lies are the cherry on top. It's not enough that Call of Duty has been bled dry creatively, we also have to adopt the most predatory business practices imaginable and straight up deceive our customers. Call of Duty has been completely corrupted by modern game mechanics and its own annualization model. And while there may be no hope for this franchise, it's still important to call out shit like this in hopes that other developers avoid these same mistakes. That the games industry knows that even though the bundle buyers outnumber us, those of us that practice the old ways are still out there. That games without MTX bullshit can sell well too. Godspeed to the developers still making good games. But what do you think about this skin, realism, immersion debate? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe. This won't be my last video shitting on Call of Duty because it's free real estate and they make it really easy. Until then, thanks for watching. This is Yags, signing out.